This is KGW News at 5.
Heavy winds hit the metro area overnight and snow piled up in the mountains. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri will give us a look at the forecast next. Welcome to KGW News at 5. I'm Christelle Kumwe. Ahead tonight, 2 people are dead after a shooting in the Alameda neighborhood. Police found them inside a home. Neighbors are sharing their concerns. Plus,
you know, they say for the holiday, the best thing you can have is freedom. She's got it, and now Mr. Whalen's got to be able to get it too.
Senator Ron Wyden discusses the American-Russian prison swap. WNBA star Brittany Griner was released from Russian custody this week. Wyden says the ongoing work to get Americans back home isn't over, saying it's time to get Paul Whelan back. And later, a Vancouver high school is being criticized for never notifying the school community that a 16-year-old student overdosed on fentanyl in the school's bathroom.
If we want to put our head in the sand, we're just going to keep seeing more overdoses and more losses at every age level.
Tonight, our investigative team looks into the case. Again, we begin tonight with weather, and Joe Ranieri, you're joining us, and we're seeing those winds die down and the rain taper down.
Exactly right. We'll still see some scattered showers, and the mountains are still going to be under that winter weather advisory until late tonight. But here's a look at what we've been seeing here the last couple of hours. A little break from the rain. Of course, the last 24 hours it's been nothing but a steady stream of rain. About a half of an inch of rain has fallen at the Portland International Airport. You can kind of see a little bit of some drier weather along the northern Oregon coast. We'll zoom out a little bit. Parts of southern Oregon are seeing a little bit of some snow showers. But if you're traveling in that direction, you're not going to be seeing the snowfall as intense as you saw late last night and earlier this morning. As we look at the rainfall amounts, this model is just updated a little bit, close to 55/100ths of an inch of rain has fallen since midnight. So a good amount of rain from this system. We're in Scappoose along Highway 30 there, almost a 1/4 of an inch, and close to a 1/4 of an inch over in Kelso in southwest Washington. Along the east side of the state, you saw a little bit of precipitation as well. And heading into tomorrow, you're going to be seeing more of a mix of rain and snow at times throughout parts of eastern Oregon. Basically where you see these watches and warnings, that's the case over in Madras and Bend, and that winter weather advisory again is in effect until midnight tonight through parts of the Oregon Cascades. With that said, though, you're still looking at maybe 2 to 5 inches of new snow overnight around Government Camp up in the higher elevations. You could be seeing close to 10 inches later on tonight. In Timberline Lodge, over the last couple of days, you've seen nearly 2 feet of snow. So as you can see, that counterclockwise rotation, that's that low that's still going to be producing a good amount of snow showers late tonight and in throughout tomorrow. We'll still see some scattered showers, Christelle, heading into at least the morning hours and into the early part of the afternoon before we transition into dry weather. And that is exactly what we're going to be seeing a good part of next week. Along with the dry weather, get ready for some cold temperatures. I'll have more on that in just a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thanks, Joe. WNBA star Brittany Griner was released from a Russian prison this week after nearly a year in custody. She was released in exchange for a notorious Russian arms dealer who was in U.S. custody. The move is one that Oregon Senator Ron Wyden says isn't complete since another American is still in Russia. Not part of the prisoner swap was Paul Whelan. Whelan is an American businessman and former Marine who has been in Russian custody for 4 years. He is accused of spying, something Whelan and the U.S. government deny. Senator Wyden is on the Intelligence Committee and said earlier today the administration is not giving up on Whelan.
Putin is always about power and muscle. I think he felt that he could go as far as the release of Ms. Griner, but we have to recognize that Mr. Whelan has got to be free as well. You know, they say for the holiday, the best thing you can have is freedom. She's got it, and now Mr. Whalen's got to be able to get it too.
Wyden also spoke about the death of U.S. journalist Grant Wahl, who died while covering the World Cup tournament in Qatar. Wahl's family is concerned foul play may be involved, and Wyden says the U.S. government is asking questions. But Wahl also reported being sick with a severe cold this past week, so Wyden says it's too soon to know what happened. Regardless, he called Wahl's death a tragedy. Let's get to some other news tonight. An elderly man was rescued this morning after a crash last night. Authorities say he ended up in a steep embankment. As you can see, firefighters from Cowlitz County had to use a ladder to reach him. He was 25 feet down. The crash happened along North Gobble Creek Road around 8:30 p.m. Friday. He was rescued this morning at 6:30. Authorities say the driver is 84 years old and is now recovering at a local hospital. He has chest injuries as well as other complications after being exposed to the cold weather overnight. This morning around 5 a.m., a woman was arrested after she was found passed out in a stolen vehicle on Southeast 44th Avenue at Holgate. The Portland Police Department shared this photo saying they found the woman with this gun. She has since been taken to jail. 2 people were found shot to death in the Beaumont-Wilshire neighborhood in Northeast Portland. But investigators say they are not looking for any suspects. Alma McCarty spoke with neighbors, shocked and saddened.
Police spent the better part of Saturday investigating in this Northeast Portland neighborhood after a call came in just before 9 a.m. What officers found when they arrived here was 2 people dead in a home.
Crime tape and patrol cars surrounded this house on the corner of Northeast 37th and Alameda Street. As detectives and officers went in and out of the home, neighbors mingled near the scene, curious and concerned. Investigators found the bodies of a man and a woman shot and killed, but said they aren't seeking out any suspects.
I was shocked because, they're both elderly and with things happening in all the neighborhoods. It was a little bit shocking.
Cindy Newcomb lives just down the street and says the couple who lived here were beloved by many.
They've lived in the neighborhood as long as I can remember. I've been here over 25 years and they've lived here. Used to see them outside quite a bit. She liked to garden and they used to have Basset Hound dogs. That was always the breed they had.
Several people who knew them told KGW the couple's health appeared to be declining, and one of them was likely suffering from dementia.
She seemed to not recognize people that she used to know, so it's kind of, sad.
At this time, details about what led up to this shooting are limited. Police ask anyone with information about the deadly incident to contact detectives as they continue to gather and analyze evidence. In Northeast Portland, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Meanwhile, there was a shooting overnight at a parking lot at Southwest 5th in Ankeny. The Portland Police Department says they found a shooting victim there and took them to the hospital. The person is expected to recover. Authorities found a gun nearby and believe the victim exchanged gunfire with an unknown suspect who left the scene. No word yet on that suspect. 2 people accused of illegally selling psychedelic mushrooms appeared in court on Friday. Their arrests came after police raided a downtown Portland business earlier this week. Police seized 22 pounds of psilocybin, also known as magic mushrooms, from Shroom House on West Burnside. Officers also recovered more than $13,000 in cash. Shroom House attracted long lines of customers over the past week. Under Oregon's legal psilocybin program, people 21 and over are allowed to take the substance in a regulated therapeutic clinical setting when it takes effect next year. But the retail sale of psilocybin is not allowed.
A significant number of people on our streets are very unwell.
Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler and Housing Commissioner Dan Ryan are hoping to end unsanctioned homeless camping by the summer of 2024. They presented their plan to roughly 150 members of Portland's business community earlier this week. Their plan includes banning camping and putting homeless people in 6 law-designated camping sites throughout the city instead. Each site will have services like food, hygiene, and access to caseworkers.
We did this to ourselves, and we did it intentionally. With 30 to 40 years of neglect of our mental health infrastructure in this state. It took decades to get where we are, and it's going to take a long time to dig ourselves out of the hole.
There are more than 5,000 homeless people living in Portland. The mayor has not said where those new designated camping sites will be placed, but he did say the city will need money and a new budget to make the plan happen.